Gentlemen, all of you are charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Please.
The nature of this case is a racing on a highway case, so I just want to let you know that these dim summaries will be separate for each defendant because they were stopped at different locations, if that makes sense. Okay. On April 17th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was on routine patrol when he observed a Silverado pickup truck and a Cadillac motor vehicle accelerate at a high rate of speed side by side in an attempt to outdistance one another. The officer observed a third vehicle, a Dodge Charger, increasing speed while following the other two motor vehicles. The officer accelerated approximately to 108 miles per hour in an attempt to catch up with the three vehicles. The officer noted the posted speed limit on the roadway was 65 miles per hour. The officer notes that he was traveling at 101 miles per hour, maintaining view of the vehicles and recording the incident with his dash camera. The Cadillac and the Silverado truck exited the freeway, and the officer got right behind the pickup truck and paced it, traveling 85 miles per hour. A traffic stop was conducted on the Silverado, and the defendant admitted to the officer he was racing with the other individuals. While speaking with the defendant...
We're talking about Brown, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And while speaking with the defendant, the other two vehicles arrived on scene and admitted to the officer that they were racing along with the defendant. I guess that covers that.
Who came and admitted?
It says the other two defendants.
The other two came in.
Yes, Your Honor, that's what it states. I'd be happy to read the other.
I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your cases, gentlemen. Let me tell you now that the state of Texas and the wisdom of our legislature has made it extremely easy for district attorneys across the state of Texas to seize and take cars from those who are arrested for racing. I have had cases in here where they have seized and taken a car from someone who was caught multiple times participating in this type of behavior. Don't do it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you do, the first thing I will do is I will put you in jail, and then I'm going to take your ability to drive away from you while this case is open. Living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive blows. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Each of you, none of you participate racing, street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving maniacally, or putting others' lives in danger. Do you understand? If I find that you're driving at 100 or something like that, it's just not going to go well for you guys. So do you mind filing conditions on each of, no racing, reckless driving, takeovers, anything of this nature, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then also, let's go through each one to see if they have valid licenses.
Yes, Your Honor. For defendant Thomas, we do have an eligible license.
Okay. Also, each of you you're not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. You must have car insurance. If you don't have either, you are not allowed to drive.
For defendant Brown, we do have an eligible license as well.
Okay.
And then for defendant Graves, the license is eligible.
All right. Gentlemen, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Brown? Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Okay, we're going to give you time to go hire a lawyer. We're going to give you 30 days. When you come back, please have a lawyer. I'm going to have you each go to Victoria, sign a reset. Then we will have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. We have enough death on our streets. Don't contribute to it. You understand?
Sure.
All right, come on, guys. Picked up a new case?
It was a failure to ID, and I'll pull up the card.
She actually has this one.
She has five expectations. I do apologize. I was trying to pull a arm as judge.
Take your time, Blaze. There's never a problem. Can you read to me what happened on the failure to ID?
Street racing at 100 mph, lies, assaults, and repeat offenders piling up. One courtroom, one judge, and a long list of people who thought the rules didn't apply. Now the consequences are coming, fast and unforgiving.
April 22nd, 2025, officer dispatch in reference to a. In reference to earlier a motor vehicle, complainant stated that at 4:30 a.m. she heard a car alarm go off and looked out the window and saw two individuals leaving.
Oh my God, you're telling me this is a BMV?
No, it's not being beer.
That's the co-defendant
It's
judge.
defendants.
She's with, this is a party.
Not charged though, Your Honor, say that, but, complainant approached the suspect and defendant Silva stated that she was, quote, going to beat her ass if she kept following me. The complainant was able to flag down an officer, and the defendants, the other complaining witness, the owner of the vehicle said that the officers, there was a red paint on the front seat of the complainant's motor vehicle. Complainant observed that a bike that defendant Silva was riding on had red paint on the seat, and the back of defendant Silva's pants was also red paint. During the investigation, I observed defendant Silva with red paint on the back of her pants. During the investigation, defendant Silva admitted to going to the vehicle to find things changed. Once the defendants were detained, officers asked what the defendant's name and date of birth was. She first stated that her name was Sierra Johnson, date of birth 4/18/2002. Officers asked for a clarification on the spelling. Officers then asked if she ever had a Texas driver's license or ID. She stated she did not. Officers ran the given name, but nothing came back. Officers then called for Mogan Aphis. While officers were waiting, he asked the defendant what her name was, and she said that her name was spelled Sierra, Ceirra, with a C instead of an S, and that Johnson was her mom's last name, and that her real name was Torrance. Officers ran the new name and Texas driver's license, came back to defendant Torrance with multiple City of Houston precinct 2 warrants.
So the co-defendant got charged.
The defendant was charged, Your Honor. I'll pull it up now.
Why not Ms. Torrance?
I'm not going to read in here, Judge. I don't want to speculate, but I think all of the evidence can point to the co-defendant. And in fact, co-defendant admitting to going into the vehicle.
There was red paint in the car.
Right.
She has red paint on her.
That was.
No, that was I don't.
Was she acting as a lookout?
I don't know why you did not take a B&B on this. I don't want to speculate. All I can see is that obviously there was a decision made and intake that they didn't have enough for B&B, but they had.
Anna, as much as I love you and as much as I appreciate your tenacity, no, there's something going on that's a lot deeper with this, and I'd like to find out. And what I'd like to do is have her T-rest, essentially, but I don't know what we need to do to get through to you, Ms. Torrance, but apparently of all the stuff that we've dealt with now, in your case is what? $241 days, and yet we
Judge, if I may, this is a DWI. We got the alcohol report back and they sent it off to get tested for tox. We still do not have that toxicology report. And when we were.
I get it.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
It's just, she's not the one dragging it out. It's been waiting on the test.
You are on
Yeah.
law. You've now picked up a new case. I've repeatedly asked you to behave yourself while on bond. That you are not charged with 2 cases and you merely have the one. I'm now revoking your bond number, DWI, and I'm taking you in. And what I'd like to do is have her T-Raz
Okay.
immediately to
Okay.
see how we go forward, because this is, in my opinion, throwing her to the wolves, because something is going on and I'm going to try to nip it before it becomes felonious.
Judge, we do have an alternative offer on there. That would include the T-Rest.
I want to do it first
Absolutely.
so we see how to go forward, because I don't want, I just,
And while we're here, actually, let me talk to the state about this before I'm gonna give them a heads up.
And I'll send an anything.
Right. Mr. Bada, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement that they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 1 day that you have done. You are giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, this will go on your record. It will be there forever. From now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. You pick up any more DWIs. And I'm going to tell you, because it's going on your record, you get pulled over and you have anything funky to smell, whether it's weed, whether it's alcohol, what do you think is going to happen? If you want to get lit, if you want to smoke until your heart's content, don't get into a car. I know that he has done above and beyond the call of duty in representing you without probably taking it. For all the money that you have saved, $50 will get you a ride to wherever you want to go in this life. Do you understand? I don't know if I'm going to waive the supervisory fee with him. I don't know if he's truly indigent or not by OG.
I would respectfully.
I know that you are, but I don't know. You know, I know that you've been throwing everyone for a loop the entire time, so I want you to fill out an application from where you saw. I know that you are truly indigent. You're going to swear to this document. This is a public, not a public, but this is a governmental document that you're going to swear to. I want to know about your financial situation. I want to know everything about you. How much money you have at the bank, how much money you have coming in, how many cars you have, and then we'll take a look to see whether you're truly indigent. You understand? I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license. So we will have you fill out an affidavit and I'll see whether you are indigent and then we'll take a look. But really, this dude is really gone above and beyond the call to represent you for all the issues that you've had. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing. How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow this agreement. Deputy, do you mind giving an application so we can work to see? Okay.
And Your Honor, do you need me to approach with?
No, I'll look at the document. If he does, then I'm going to waive it. If you do not qualify, you will be required to pay the supervisory fees. In this case, that is $3,000 plus court costs. Actions have consequences. You have the opportunity. When you pick up a DWI, you're going to pay for it one way or the other. You know, now this, with the conviction, it's going to follow you forever. All I hope is that 20 years, 30 years from now, this was enough of a hassle in your life that you, man, I had 3 beers. I better not get into a car. Time heals all wounds, but the law never forgets. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your
Thanks,
Honor.
bye. Okay, you ready? Come on up, sir. How are you? So, Mr. Randall, you're charged with failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice. That is a Class A misdemeanor. That was from 2022. And I guess you didn't show up for the arraignment, I'm assuming, so we revoked the bond. We issued the warrant. 3 years later, now you've picked up an assault bodily injury. On that one, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. I don't know what happened in the assault, so we're going to find out. Okay, what happened?
Judge, before we get started, there is some use of profanity that's pertinent. How do you?
Dude, we don't have virginal ears. You can do whatever you want. Say it.
On April 22nd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to an assault in progress call and made contact with the complaining witness. The law enforcement officer observed the complaining witness to have blood on their face and fresh cuts on his face and near his eye. The complaining witness stated he walked on a bridge and passed the defendant and told him to have a good day. The defendant then stated, "What the fuck did you just say to me? You got a problem." The complaining witness told the defendant that he didn't have a problem and did not want any trouble. The defendant then got into a fighting stance and struck the complaining witness in the face multiple times, took him to the ground, continued striking him, and stuck his finger in the complaining witness's eye. The complaining witness stated he was in fear for his life. A witness corroborated the complaining witness's story.
Any damage to the eye?
Law enforcement officers took pictures of what he recognized to be a bite mark on the complaining witness. I will look for further damage evidence. The officer observed the complainant's eye being red and the bottom part of his eye having a fresh cut and abrasions on both sides of his face and above his forehead.
Okay, Mr. Randall, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of weapons. I don't know if you're going to bond out, but if you do, I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle because you're a flight risk.
I'm not gonna go anywhere. I mean, the assault
So
charge.
don't talk about it, really. You have the right to remain silent, exercise the right. That's why you have a lawyer, because whatever you say now, they're going to sit there, type it to try to use it against you. Just best not. So the problem is that I can't give you a PR bond. We gave you a PR bond last time and you took off. Now, 3 years later, you picked up a new case. And the only reason we have you back is because of this. So I can't just give you another PR bond, you know?
And Your Honor, Mr. Randall would like me to communicate to the court that he was under the impression that his prior offense was dismissed and it was a misunderstanding, but that he has every intention to satisfy his obligations.
I get it. I understand. Where do you live?
I believe he's kind of in transient at the moment, Your Honor.
And that's a problem because I don't want to just give you another PR bond and you're going to end up on the street. You know,
It's hard to get lodgings here.
allegedly here, they're just wishing you to have a good day. Have a good day. And now, you know,
We have provided him with resources in order to try to find lodging and the like. So I think you said you were going to take advantage of that information I gave you.
yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, you scare me. You know, you take off. And the only reason we have you back now is because
Sir,
of have a nice day.
no, I didn't take off. I've been right here in the city of Houston. It wasn't a flight risk or me ignoring the conditions of the PR bond. I showed up to the court. Like I said, the discrepancy said just with the criminal justice system up to this point is paramount to pretty much everything.
Who do you have in your life? Where's mom?
Lord.
Where's dad? Where's brother, sister? Who do you have
I'm
in your
here.
life?
I'm on my own. I actually came here to Texas to take care of VA and Social Security disability to acquire a resource to just take care of that simple business and go back to Germany. That was it.
Germany, he said, Your Honor.
But I'm not a recluse or a loose cannon. How they trying to paint? It's wrong. That guy.
Don't talk about the past.
So if you had somewhere to go, like family members that are willing to take you in, I would consider, but just to go back on the street. My fear is that we let you out and then the same thing happens again, where you just go out and then we just don't see you again, you know? So I don't know if you can somehow try to reach through some family or anyone that he may have, talk with him, and then I guess we'll go from there. Okay? All right. Good luck,
We're
sir.
asking for a short recess. We spoke with the
Absolutely,
state.
for sure.
We'll try to resolve this.
Maybe a couple days or however long you want. And
So.
yeah. All right. Good luck, sir.
Judge, can I call up the arraignment?
Hey, Nathan, can I do an arraignment real quick?
Well, I'm just gonna take a minute of your time.
Okay, come on.
Hi,
Great to
Judge.
see you, man. What's
Pleasure.
new? Happy Fridays?
Yes, yes, Judge.
Morning, gentlemen.
So these are two U of H pre-law students.
Great.
All right, so Peter and Elijah, their class is getting a tour of the building, and when I was picking them downstairs, they had mentioned that they had seen you and they wanted to meet you.
We
Nice.
saw you on so many times on TikTok, and it's a great honor.
Yeah, I don't know who puts, I don't put it on there, so I have no idea, but
You've gone viral, like I've seen so many times, and I'm amused, like by the way you handle
By the way,
stuff.
they have no idea who I am.
No, but we know who you are. So we were just wondering if we could just get a picture of you.
Let's skip that part.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay
I know
with
there's
it.
like,
Just let
I don't know
me,
photography about, but
let me just do a couple things here and there, and then if you just give me a couple minutes, I'm happy to take a
All right,
picture.
Judge, I've got to actually run to another court, so if you don't mind, can I leave them in your jury box?
No, not in the jury box.
Okay.
Where?
The witness stand.
Oh, yeah, if you can hang out in the witness stand here.
Now can we call up the arraignment?
Sure.
All right. Page 13, Ms. Morris, come on up, please. Judge, I thought she was one of the ones that had an attorney. That was one.
Okay, not a problem. Coming up, Ms. Morris. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you are charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shh.
On April 17th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a disturbance and made contact with the reportee who stated the defendant had left the scene. While speaking to the reportee, the defendant drove up to the scene and the law enforcement officer observed the defendant exit out of the driver's side of the vehicle and was the only person in the vehicle. The law enforcement officer observed the defendant to have red, glossy eyes and slurred speech. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 was recorded on the HGN. A 3 out of 4 was recorded on the one-legged stand. It states here that the other test was refused. The law enforcement officer found an open alcoholic beverage, mostly empty and cold to the touch, in the center cup holder and several other unopened alcoholic beverages cold to the touch. The defendant refused to provide a specimen. Blood warrant was obtained and executed.
Did you say that there was an accident initially that brought them to the attention or what?
Judge, it just says that the law enforcement officers were dispatched to a disturbance and the defendant drove back to the scene that she had left from.
My fiance.
Stop. Don't. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right.
There's no accident, Your Honor. It was just, they were called out to a disturbance. I believe it was a disturbance with. There's a disturbance under the weapon call, Your Honor. They drove up to the location, and made contact with a complainant witness who stated, that the defendant had left the location, and then while they were speaking to the complaining witness,
That's when she comes back.
that's when their thing came out.
Okay. All right, Ms. Morris, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive at all. I'm now going to have you sign an affidavit with me today, promising you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising you're not going to drive. Do you understand? Because this is a second offense, you will be required to obtain a portable interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. I will also randomly test you for drugs. If I find that you're using, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am? You're sending notice to DPS now that I'm placing a restriction on your license that you're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have a guardian interlock. If you're caught driving a vehicle, it doesn't have an interlock on it, an officer in this state will know that you're required and they will arrest you and put you in jail. And you're in violation of these bond conditions. Do you understand? You have the ability to hire a lawyer, man. We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So what I'm going to do is I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'm going to first have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. You will then get with pretrial services for your bond conditions. And then after that, you'll be free to go. Do not use. Do you understand? Alcohol or illegal drugs. It's not going to go well. I didn't say you couldn't work. I just said you. I'm ordering you not to drive.
They put an interlock in there already.
Okay.
Right. All right, you were Jose Castillo.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Mr. Castillo, you're charged with failure to stop, give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you. The defendant was driving westbound on 9100 Willow Meadow at approximately 7 p.m. and crashed into a parked white Chevy Silverado. The defendant's right side mirror struck the left side mirror of the parked pickup truck. The complaining witness identified the defendant's vehicle with surveillance video and rode around the neighborhood until he located the vehicle. The complaining witness gave the address to the officers who went to the location. They met with the defendant, who stated he was aware he hit the truck, but was going to go back later.
Hey, Mr. Castillo, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. You run his license, please.
Yes, sir.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance. If I find that something like this happens again, or if you pick up a new case or become a danger, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
So, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Castillo, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Okay, we're going to give you time. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We will have you take a seat in the jury box while I get your bond conditions. Once you sign it, then you'll be free to go. Please.
All right, Judge, page 5, Contreras, come on up.
Sir, you are charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant and the complaining witness were in an Uber on April 17th, 2025, when a fight broke out. The defendant jumped on top of the complaining witness. The complaining witness and the defendant were dropped off by the Uber driver at the complaining witness's house. Once at the property, the complaining witness attempted to go inside. The defendant started a physical altercation where he struck the complaining witness with closed fists, causing pain and injury to the complaining witness. The complaining witness was able to get away from the defendant and lock the door with the defendant outside. The complaining witness has visible injury and bleeding of the face observed by officers who arrived on the scene.
Relation, and is there alcohol or dope involved? Just pled to an assault a month and a half ago, and here we are again.
Your Honor, the nature of the relationship, it states as a roommate of 2 weeks, and they were at a club known as Wagos on Washington Street. And Your Honor, according to the dim summary, the complainant stated the defendant got too drunk.
We are now going to handle whatever issues that are arising with you. If I find that you're another danger to the community, I will put you in jail. You're ordered not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you so I know that you're not consuming. You are not allowed to go to bars, nightclubs, anything of this nature where alcohol is primarily sold. Do you understand? So I'd like to put a scram on him. Okay, yeah. Waive the fee. You're not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case. If I find that you do, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? What do you do with yourself these days?
Stepdad has taken away everything from us. So we're trying to figure that out. And that's why I moved in with Chris.
It's time for you to get a job. And I'm making that a condition of your bond. You're not doing anything and you have way too much time on your hands. So you're becoming self-destructive. This is now your second assault case within the last month and a half. No more. Do you understand?
Sir,
Can you reach out to the MAC for him, please? And then you're not to be in possession of weapons as well. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset, and then we will have you take your seat in the jury box. You're going to have to get with them for your bond conditions. Then we'll get you a lawyer soon. Good morning, Mr. Crenshaw. Sir, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 19th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance call. An officer met with the complaining witness who stated that the defendant has been staying with him off and on. The complaining witness advised that he came home and found garbage in the apartment, which the defendant denied having done. The complaining witness stated the defendant started recording him, accusing him of threatening the defendant. The defendant then put the phone in the complaining witness's face, and the complaining witness took the phone, at which point the defendant punched the complaining witness several times in the face, causing pain. The defendant then attempted to take an electric scooter, which eventually struck the complaining witness in the leg, causing pain. The officer observed the complaining witness to have multiple injuries on his face.
All right, Mr. Crenshaw, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of any weapons. You understand? I don't see that a MOA or a protective order has been issued. Do you? You see a tray protective order?
The stipulations of my bond. I know that.
On Crenshaw, okay. I'm now entering in what's called a mattress order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Mr. Montgomery as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is a stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where he lives or where he works. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you violate this court order, the state can and probably will file a violation of a protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Crenshaw? Do you work?
Yes, sir. I'm currently looking for a job.
Okay, it's time.
Yes, sir.
We're going to make sure that that happens. So 2 weeks, I'm going to bring you back and I want to see what you have done to get a job. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well for you.
Yes, sir.
You understand? All right. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer. I'm going to have you go to Victoria Center Reset. We will have you take a seat in the jury box. I'm going to get you bond conditions. Do not leave until you sign them.
Yes, sir.
You're not to have contact. You're not to be in possession of weapons. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Undertaker.
Oh, hold on. Come sign for your protective order.
All right, Judge, next is page 6. Easy.
Hey,
Come on up.
can you file the no contact or weapons, please, on that? Mr. Crenshaw? Okay. Good morning, Ms. Woodward. Good morning, sir. So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Okay, Your Honor. On April 17th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, the law enforcement officer made contact with the complaining witness who stated that she had a green light and the defendant's vehicle struck her on the driver's side. The complaining witness was transported to the hospital. A wheel witness stated that he saw the defendant driving at approximately 90 miles per hour and run the red light and hit the complaining witness's vehicle. The wheel witness followed the defendant, and the defendant stopped a few hundred yards away from the scene. The wheel witness stated that he believed the defendant was attempting to flee, but only stopped due to mechanical issues with his vehicle. The law enforcement officer came into contact with the defendant and noticed slurred speech, an odor of alcoholic beverage, red, bloodshot eyes, disorientation, and inability to follow instructions. The defendant admitted to driving. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 was recorded on the HGN, and the defendant refused the walk and turn and one leg stand. The defendant also refused to provide a specimen. A blood warrant was obtained and a blood draw was executed.
Judge, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand? Can you look to see any prior DWIs and if he has a license, please?
No prior DWIs and the license is eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. As long as you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance, you may continue to drive. But like I said, don't consume alcohol. Don't use illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you if and when you have to come back. For now, we'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You'll get the pre-trial for your bond conditions and then you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, I don't have the, bond conditions for the third driver. Thomas. Did you file conditions on Thomas as well?
I did, Your Honor.
You didn't? Okay. Maybe we just don't have it yet. The second offense, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 17th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer observed a motor vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed. He observed the vehicle brake hard to slow down. The officer then got behind the vehicle and observed it to have an expired registration as of January 2025. A traffic stop was conducted and the defendant was identified by his Texas ID card. The officer approached the motor vehicle and observed the defendant in the driver's seat and the defendant to have glossy eyes, slurred speech, and an odor of alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to the officer that he had 5 to 6 beers prior to driving. The defendant stated he has a leg injury on his right leg. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 4 out of 6 on the HGN, a 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, a 1 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The defendant stated that despite his leg injury, he does work out and have an active life. The defendant stated he was a 5 out of 10 level of intoxication on a scale from 1 to 10. The DIC was read and the breath test strip was refused. A blood warrant was issued and the blood draw was executed.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, can you run his license, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now, as a condition of your bond, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you.
Yes,
So
sir.
if I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you
Yes, sir.
understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm now placing a restriction on your license. You are not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle that doesn't have one, I will put you in jail.
Yes, sir.
We are sending notice to DPS so that every single officer in the state knows that you're required to have an interlock in your car. So if you're caught wherever and you don't have one, officers will put you in jail.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, can I speak?
Don't.
No, good. I got.
Don't. I don't want you to say a thing. Now's not the time. You have the right to remain silent, exercise that right. Just don't say anything. Don't. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Martinez?
Not a problem.
Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. We'll take a look to see whether you qualify. I need to know everything about you, where you work, how much money you're making, how much money you have at the bank, what kind of car you drive, how many cars, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything. And then I'll take a look to see whether you qualify.
Judge, we have that the license is not eligible.
You are not allowed to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, Mr. Martinez, and I'm telling you now, I don't give a rat's behind what your excuses. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. This affidavit is what you're going to be signing, promising you're not going to drive. Nothing in this world can justify you getting into a car and driving. Jesus comes down and needs to ride to church. Do not drive. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Castillo,
Because you don't have a license, because you're not going to drive, I'm going to give you a portable device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming.
That's what I was gonna talk to you about. I was talking to you about my bond conditions.
Mr. Martinez, in the last 1.5 years, you have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are on your 6th case within the last 1.5 years. There's nothing at this time that you can try to negotiate with me. Do you understand?
I understand, but it's about work.
Stop. All I want is my streets to be safe.
Yes,
And
sir.
if I find that you're in danger, anything 1 iota, it's just not going to go well for you.
I understand.
Okay, do you mind giving an application and we'll have you swear to us?
Are you with Thomas's bond?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah, we never got Thomas's.
Gary and Thomas?
Yeah, I'll meet them.
Raise your right hand.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallegos.
Daniel Martina Pedrosa.
God bless him.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Page 9?
yes, Judge.
Okay.
Morning, Judge.
Hey, how are you?
It's very good.
Happy Friday, man.
Hi.
Did you say Marquina?
Martina Pedrosa.
You, hey, this is now not the time for you to talk to him about this. You are Marquina Pedraja.
Yes.
You're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to 1 year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 18th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer observed a vehicle stalled in a moving lane of traffic. The law enforcement officer approached the vehicle and found the defendant in the driver's seat asleep with the vehicle running and foot on the brake pedal. The law enforcement officer woke the defendant up and noticed a mild odor of alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and glossy eyes. The defendant admitted to consuming alcohol. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 on the HGN was recorded. A 7 out of 8 on the walk and turn. A 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The defendant consented to breath and blew a .157 and a .154.
Can you look right at the eyes and licenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we, Marquina, to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using any alcohol or illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you because they sweep it hourly, if they find you, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with and then you get shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you are not allowed to drive, and that is also a bond condition.
Your Honor, we have no prior DWIs, but the driver's license data is not populating at all. There's no indication.
No license.
No license, Judge.
Do not drive, Mr. Marquina. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. Nothing in this life Can you say that will justify driving? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Temptation is big. Just don't do it.
Okay.
So for now, I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. We will get you to Victoria where you will sign a reset. You will eventually get with pre-trial for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go. Because you have a lawyer, I'm going to waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with counsel, and he will tell you if and when you have to come back to court. If he tells me that he cannot get a hold of you because you're ducking and dodging phone calls, text messages, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. If they call you to go take a drug test and you fail to appear, a warrant for your arrest will be issued.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on.
Hey, Judge.
Thanks. Bless you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You need the cause number on this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is 2560811. You are Miss Morales Vega.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 19th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was working in an undercover capacity in plain clothes when he entered a sexually oriented club and sat down at a table. The officer engaged in conversation with the defendant. The defendant agreed to participate in oral sex with the officer for a fee of $400. The officer notes that the conversation was recorded. The arrest/enforcement team detained the defendant and took her into custody without incident.
And I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward. And order you now as a condition of your bond probation is lifetime behavior. If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond and put you in custody, man. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with, and then you get shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can I provide you a lawyer today? Would you like a lawyer?
I have an attorney. Yes.
Are they supposed to be here today?
Not today.
Sí, pero no dio como que no tenía que preguntar eso de ella.
She said she hired one, but he's told her that he did not need to be here today.
Person hasn't filed any documents. I don't know. I mean, I can, if you would like, I can give you more time. I'm happy to give you a court-appointed lawyer today if you want one. You tell me what you'd like to do. I can, reset you and give you more time. Normally, lawyers file documents.
Give me another date.
Okay. Like I said, if you want a free lawyer, I'm happy to give you one today. So if you have problems when you're out there, you can come back and we're happy to give you one.
I have one.
Okay, that's fine. I just, hopefully they'll come here for the next setting. I don't know. For now, I'm gonna have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'm gonna have you take your seat in their jury box while we get your bond conditions. We're gonna have you sign them, and after that, you'll be free to go. Do you mind filing your conditions, please?
Absolutely.
No engaging in this. You are Mr. Rosabal Matos.
See,
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge. On April 19th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer observed the defendant run a red light on North Shepherd Drive. The officer then observed the defendant's vehicle fail to drive in the designated lane, striking the raised median and causing his tire to go flat. A traffic stop was conducted. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant and to have bloodshot eyes and slurred speech. The officer could smell an odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant's vehicle and from his person upon his exit from the vehicle. Officer Castrejon spoke to the defendant due to the defendant being a Spanish only speaker. The defendant admitted to consuming one beer. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. The officer noted a 2 out of 6 on the HGN, but also noted that the defendant would not follow the stimulus during distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation. Therefore, the officer was not able to observe the clues on that basis. The officer noted a 3 out of 8 on the walk and turn and a 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read on a recording in Spanish at the Joint Processing Center. The defendant consented to a breath test. The 15-minute waiting period was observed and the breath test came out to a 0.161 and a 0.153.
Any prior DWIs and a license?
No prior DWIs, Judge. I'm checking on the license.
Tengo licencia. Find that there's sufficient probable cause. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. If you're not in this country with proper permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with and they get shipped off to immigration. They sleep it daily, hourly. So behave while you're in this country. You get no more warnings from us. Do you understand?
Okay.
If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're also ordered not to drive.
I do have.
Judge, it appears that it is eligible.
As long as you have a valid license and liability insurance, car insurance, then you will be able to drive. That is also a condition that you maintain liability insurance. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? No.
No.
I can have you fill out an application, but I need to know everything about you. I need to know what kind of work you do, how much money you make, how much money you have at the bank, what kind of car you drive, any other sources of income, and I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. For now, Deputy Miranda's going to give an application. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we take a look at everything. Please.
It's real quick on 13, top of 13, was that state flood conditions?
Yes. Yeah.
Easy. Next judge is page 23, Vera. 25605. 2560573.
I know, don't be calling me on Monday because I'm big for margarita.
You are Mr. Vera Quiroz.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 17th, 2025, an officer responded to a call for service for a possible failure to stop and give information in Harris County, Texas. The witness stated to the officer that he observed the defendant strike a maroon 4-door sedan from behind, drive around the vehicle, and then drive away from the scene without stopping to provide any information. The witness followed the defendant and observed the defendant to increase and decrease his speed frequently, failed to drive in a single lane of traffic, and nearly strike other vehicles until his car became disabled on Highway 249. The witness observed the defendant to exit the vehicle and to be the sole occupant and operator of the vehicle. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, glossy bloodshot eyes, and poor balance. The officer detained the defendant, and while removing a pocket knife from the defendant's pocket, the officer observed a bulge and a plastic feeling in the defendant's pocket. The officer observed a faint odor of marijuana, so he removed the plastic bag, which did in fact contain a usable amount of marijuana. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 was reported on the HGN, a 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn, a 1 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC audio was played for the defendant, and the defendant agreed to a breath test, which yielded a .148 and a .143. The marijuana weighed approximately 0.2 ounces.
Priors, no license. Mr.
No,
Vera,
no priors, Judge.
okay.
No driver's license.
Mr. Vera, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now, as a condition of your bond, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. With you, I'm going to test you 50 days from today. If I find that you continue to use marijuana, I will revoke your bond and I'm going to put you in jail. If you're not in this country with proper documentation and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put a detainer on you because they sweep it daily. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are not allowed to drive if you don't have a Texas driver license and liability insurance. That is also a condition of your bond. You do not have a license, you will be signing an affidavit with me today. Mr. Vera, in this short life that we have, do not drive, because if you do, you will pay dearly. Do you understand? This is a promise that you're going to make to me, that you're documenting that you're not going to drive. Nothing you say can justify driving at all. Do you understand? If you get a license and insurance, come talk to me and then I'm happily will take this off. But until that point, you do. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? How old are you, Mr. Barrett?
23?
Do you work?
Yes.
Do you have the ability, do you have the funds to hire a lawyer?
No.
If you want, I can give you an application and you can apply for a court-appointed lawyer. I need to know everything about you and I'll see whether you qualify. Above all else, do not use, because it's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand? Okay. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. I will have you go to Victoria sign a reset. You're eventually going to meet with pretrial services for your bond conditions. After that, we'll take a look at your application. Come on. Dang, Glossy, you're earning, huh? You're doing great.
The bottom of page 8, Judge. I don't know how to say that much more.
In this courtroom, excuses don't matter. Patterns do. Every reckless choice stacked up until freedom started disappearing piece by piece. The lesson is simple. The law is patient and it always collects.